All right, today's topic is this. I'm going to tell you how to keep a talented person from leaving when they appear in your downline. Has it been about a month since my partner boss joined? But usually during that month, I look at the data, right? That person is a total product enthusiast. And in just 1 month, they recruited almost 60 or 70 members and 5 people are attending seminars. So I thought, isn't this person basically a teacher right away? That thought just came to me. Because among those 5 people attending the seminar, as they use and share the products themselves, you can pretty much predict the sales figures. But what I noticed is that on average, people attending the seminar generate about 300,000 points every 2 weeks. So I thought, that's about the level they're at. Then, that's about how much growth we're seeing. So if we do this and that, we can reach the next level. That's how I keep thinking and moving forward. At first, the partner managers are like, huh? Me? Director, do I have to say that I'm taking on the challenge? No, just do things as you normally would. That's always what I say too. Just do things as you usually do. What's there to challenge? Even for me, it's just my intuition. So I don't know if it'll work or not. If I see it's not working, I just let it go. And if it does, then I think about making it happen. So I don't force anyone. Why? Because if I force someone, then I have to take responsibility. If I say something I can't take responsibility for, it breaks trust. So I just tell people, just do things as you normally would. But it turns out about 90% of the time I'm right. Why? Because I have experience under my belt. So when the partner CEOs start from the very bottom and work their way up, what happens? Their sales skyrocket, everyone. This summer, their sales really took off. It was about 100 million won in just about 15 days. In just 15 days, they made 130 million won in sales. Everyone, that's about a 130 million Korean won. 130 million, 130 million points. 30 million points were earned. Everyone, is it okay to say it's in Korean won? Thinking about dubbing this makes it a bit tricky. Anyway, so the sales. Sorry about that. Sales of 130 million won in Korean currency in just 15 days, over a period of 15 days. So it really blew up this summer, everyone. So what sets me apart from others is that back in 2017, I tried doing it with money too, but I realized that even money alone doesn't work. But now I have experience and my atomy commission has grown. So when you combine skill with capital, what happens? It can't help but succeed, everyone. That's just how society is structured. So what I realized is that you need to really understand atomy before you get involved. If you invest with proper understanding, you'll get even more synergy. But if you just try to do it half-heartedly with money alone, it will never work. You understand what I mean, right? So at first you attend seminars, start by switching your own products, share with consumers, grow your membership, and just keep at it consistently. In the past, the entry barrier was high because you had to start from sales master. But now that there's the semi-sales master, what happens? Since there's no entry barrier, it's much easier to get started. That's why things are speeding up more and more now. Why is that? Because there are many people who have already experienced starting from sales master. Now, I'm in my 9th year too, but with the introduction of semi-sales master, it feels like, I can just do it this way. And it's become so easy. You understand what I mean, right? And the bolder and more confident I become, the bolder my partners become as well. They think, it works. They start to feel certain about it. And as time passes, after a full year, after the 4 seasons have gone by, you start to sense for yourself whether you're doing well or not. You might think, maybe this isn't quite right at this point. You might start to think, maybe this method isn't right for atomy. But if after going through that, you realize, this method was actually correct, you become even bolder. You become more certain. And then what happens? The synergy grows tremendously. That's why New Zealand is doing so well right now. Why? Because now even foreign partner leaders besides myself are starting to understand. So as the number of people who get it grows, 2, 4, 8, and so on, self-leaders are emerging everywhere and both sides are expanding rapidly. That's why I think I'll be hitting 1.5 million every day now. I hit it yesterday and today too. Oh, wow. Starting from the first, that's 2 days in a row. And now on the 3rd day, it's almost all filled up as well. What's really scary about this? It's that I ignited the fire at the very bottom. If you grab the very end of the embers at the bottom and nurture that part, the people who are in my membership are still watching, everyone. Then those people can feel it. Wow, things are going really well. Why? Because sales are skyrocketing. So what happens then in your body? Oh, wow, it feels like I can't not do this. These days, there's a rumor going around that partner CEOs can't sleep after seeing their points go up. Why? Oh man, if I just hit that target, I'll make 10 million won, 10 million Korean won. If I do this, when will I even have time to stay at home? Thinking like this actually creates even more synergy. Why? Guys, is someone forcing you to run like this? No, that's not it. It's because you see it, you know it, you're doing it, and you're obsessed with it. That's why this becomes a group driven by madness. You get what I mean, right? Second point. Now, regarding system income for Kodweji, I said earlier that the first thing depends on fate. So, depending on who joins under you, that person's fate could be to remain a sales master or a diamond master forever, as I mentioned. And secondly, there are also cases like this. Everyone. For example, let's talk about B. I'll draw it out for you again. There's A and B, and OA is doing really well. Now, in this case, sometimes you might get lucky and have really good people join under you, but sometimes you might not. It's possible that no one good comes along. Even if B is working really hard and following the system exactly, it still might not happen. In situations like this, everyone, this is how I think about it. Since I also dream of becoming an imperial master, you know they say you need to have several lines to reach imperial. They always say you need to have 6 lines, right? So under B, there's Juja. This person, Juja, worked really hard under B and kept following me, trusting me all the way, right? Whenever I said, let's build up this side, they did it. And when I said, let's focus on that side, they did that too. But even then, sometimes that side just doesn't grow well. So what happens then? I can help by adding someone there. That kind of trust, you know? There are people who say, hey, help me on both sides. Some people even ask that right from the start. The partner boss who called earlier had some network marketing experience. So they asked, oh, I can't just build one line, right? Will you help me on both sides? That's what happened. So when they consulted with me, I told them not to even start building lines. Because if you get involved for no reason, you'll just end up looking like an old-fashioned nag. So I told them not to build any lines at all. Since you're young, don't let yourself be used for that and just say you're not interested. I told them to just make introductions, that's all. As for building both sides, from a leader's perspective, everything comes down to time and money. So what happens then? I need to earn my own English or system income, so can I just connect anyone? Everyone? I can only connect someone if I trust them enough to entrust them with something. If you start making deals about this, then your sponsor will also start making deals in return. But if you just focus on your own business and quietly keep at it, then people start to feel a certain way. Why does this person trust me and keep going? Why do we keep working together as a team, cheering each other on, but things still aren't working out? But they're holding on well? So somewhere in their heart, this kind of thought arises. If that person doesn't make it, I'll do whatever it takes to help them succeed. This feeling always comes up. And later on, you'll definitely be rewarded for that. But that trust between you has to be even stronger than what you have with family. And because this is something tied to money, it can actually become even stronger than family bonds, but it can also turn you into enemies. So that's why I think it's really important to maintain trust in this kind of work. So you have to keep clear boundaries and run the business in a way that's win-win for everyone. But these days, what I really appreciate when talking with my partner CEOs is that they truly understand my vision. Now, everyone, there's something like this. Let's say I'm preparing to become an Auto Sharon, not just aiming for the title, but actually preparing for it. To become an Auto Sharon Rose Master, you need to have Auto Diamond Masters on both sides, right? So when I'm working toward becoming an Auto Diamond Master, here's how I start to envision it. I think to myself, let me take on the most difficult part at the very bottom. One of the reasons why my partners either like me or at least don't dislike me is because I always take the initiative and lead by example. When I picture my partners, my approach is always to take on the hardest task first myself. That's always been my principle. If I just contribute more and take care of things myself, that's the end of it. Then everyone quiets down. That's always my mindset. So as time goes by, no one in the organization ever leaves. And as time passes, those partners come to appreciate it too. When my own hunger has subsided a bit and I start to see the next step, there comes a moment when they think, wow, it's really not easy for my sponsor to handle both lines like that. I'm so grateful. Then at a certain point, those people also start to take on their roles with self-leadership in their own positions. But that's exactly what I want. We're not supposed to always stick together. Each of us needs to become a leader, spread out, and develop our roles according to our own leadership. But sometimes people might not be able to grow those abilities. However, as time goes by, there will be people who are able to develop in that way. So when those kinds of people emerge, things should be able to go smoothly, even if we just communicate over the phone. What does it take to reach that level? You need to have strong, deep trust. But right now, because I'm talking to all our partner companies while managing everything from the very bottom and also helping out all the way to the other side, what happens then? There are no complaints from anyone. Why? Because I'm not just helping one line, I'm supporting two lines. You all need to think about this. Only helping one line? But whenever I think about it, the people who need to help with two lines are the key people. The key people. When you help the key people, it doesn't mean you have to help with every single point or do everything just because they ask you to help with both lines. You make it so that one side at the very bottom is completed. Then, once the very bottom is finished, you need to help at the right time so that the people on that side can see, oh, if I just get a little more help here, I can become an auto diamond master. If you don't do that, you'll collapse yourself. So, starting with myself, what do you think the first step is? I don't build from the top above the very bottom. When I look at it as a diamond, when building one on each side, I don't start from the top. I start from the bottom. In some ways, this can be really difficult. It's hard to find people at the bottom, right? It's the most challenging, requires the most sacrifice and so on. But even so, I tackle the hardest part first. At the top, everything is already quiet and settled. So even if you just give a little help at the top, oh, everything just feels so grateful. Grateful. That creates even more synergy. But if you start building from the top and then try to build the bottom, you end up in situations where nothing works out. You're getting promoted because of me. You're only maintaining your position because of me. They start saying strange things like that. So what did I realize as I went through trial and error while doing this? Start building from the very bottom. Second, when you build from the very bottom, even those at the top engage in healthy competition. Oh, if two lines come up from below, not just me, I could just get bumped out. I really need to work hard. So people work even harder. And when you give just a little help at the right moment, things can really take off. But that's a bit of know-how for you. So what should you do? You need to be right at the very bottom, at the growth point. You have to communicate directly, not by having someone else do it for you, but by handling all the communication yourself. Always thinking about whether there are any problems, what those people are lacking, and what kind of help they need. And when it comes to the very bottom, you shouldn't delegate that. You need to listen to every single voice. Otherwise, even if it seems like your sales are soaring at some point, inside people are arguing and fighting. When the organization starts to fall apart, it can disappear in an instant. Everyone, that's really scary. That's what we call the domino effect. You understand what I mean, right? All right, and then we can proceed with the next step in our process. That's all for here. I kept trying to be mindful of it while talking this time.